Hello everyone and welcome to the video, and thank you so much for joining not just myself, but also my dad. Dad, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing? I haven't seen you for a while now.
Yeah, it's been, I guess, was it the last time that we did this with a previous video to this, the lead up to
I
this
think it was the
video?
last time we did a collaboration. Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
And you were over for a visit like a month or more ago. But the way
Yeah.
things are going, I may not see you for a while.
Yeah, this video was actually supposed to be filmed in person in a couple of days actually, but COVID has kind of gone crazy, and the border between our provinces, New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, is now shut. So I can't visit you, and you can't visit me. So
You're lost, buddy. You're lost.
yeah, we are forced to do this via video chat, but that's totally fine because that's how we did the first one. So if you guys have not seen that first video, we spent roughly 30 or 40 minutes talking about a little bit of our genealogy history, your results, my mom's results, and the predictions basically of what mine could be. And that's what this video is about, showing my actual results.
Because at the time in the last video, you had the kit. You didn't actually take the test right on the camera. But
exactly.
you had the kit, and immediately after the time you stopped recording, you took the test, sent it away to Ireland.
Yeah.
And apparently they've got it done.
And that was about 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago.
Oh yeah, about that. Yeah.
I've actually been sitting on the results for almost 3 weeks now, and I have not checked them. So those of you at home, you are going to find out at the exact same time I do, as well as you, Dad. You don't know them as either. So this will be a total surprise to myself, yourself, and everyone. So it's been so difficult having the results sitting in my inbox for 3 weeks and not looking at them. So I'm glad we're finally doing this video.
Although we have a pretty good expectation it's not going to be a radical surprise.
Yes, I mean, hopefully.
Because we did, in the previous video, we did mine, your mother's. We combined them just to give a rough average of what you could come out as when you do your own test. It won't be exact, but hopefully it'll be fairly close. Or else I've got some questions to ask.
Exactly, and those numbers are actually on the screen. So let's go through them real quick. So Mum was 57 Scotland. You were 62 Scotland. So hopefully I should be around 59.5-ish. Right?
That's right. That's what we think. If everything that your mother contributed and I contributed in the DNA picture of you was applied at a 50-50 ratio, this is what it would be. But DNA doesn't really work that way.
Exactly. DNA doesn't work really in a world of averages. It kind of picks and chooses itself. So exactly. England and Northwestern Europe, 25 for Mom, 7 for you. So maybe 16 for me. That's going to be a weird one. Ireland, 14 for Mom, 29 for you. So again, kind of another weird one. And then it's kind of question marks after that. Norway with 2 with Mom, but you have nothing. Mom also has 2 from Sweden, and you have nothing. But then you've got 1 in Wales and 1 in Finland. So who knows?
Yeah, and these are percentages. They're supposed to add roughly up to 100. Those are percentages.
Exactly. This is percentage based. Okay. So mine should be 59.5, 16, 21.5, 1, 1, 0.5, and 0.5. We know it's not going to be exactly that. There's going to be some discrepancies, but we have a baseline, basically. So, again, like I said, I have not looked at the results. I have this main page open here, which is just the Ancestry page, and I have right-clicked on the link to my results and opened them up in a new tab. So I have not seen these. So
good.
We will see these at the exact same time. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Should we
I want to see.
Anything to discuss before we get into these, or just go for it?
Well, this will be okay. One thing.
Okay.
You're gonna see some numbers, and those numbers won't be the forever numbers.
Right.
Because as Ancestry's database improves and as they get better data and more filled in blank spots, your numbers will likely change, not a lot, but a little bit over and over again, and they'll get more refined and better accuracy over time. So this is look number 1 of what might be many looks at your DNA.
Exactly. That's a very important point to make as well. Okay. I actually don't even know, because I have this shared through OBS. I don't know if it's going to appear correctly on the screen. I might have to zoom in. I might have to zoom out. I'm not sure, because, again, I didn't look at the page. So, all right, ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, it is going to appear correctly. 59 for Scotland. That's exactly what we predicted, basically.
Holy smokes.
Ireland's 25. We thought it'd be 21.5. Wales is 6%.
Well, and you know what? That actually makes a bit of sense because there's something odd with your mother's DNA. Well, I don't mean that in a joking way. But your mother's name is actually a Welsh name. And when the latest version came back and she was 0, we thought, what is wrong here? There has to be more Welsh than that. And that's probably mostly from your mother, and maybe her numbers will eventually change to reflect that as
Yeah,
well.
so
So that's great.
maybe her numbers are a bit wrong, but yeah, 6% Wales, and I'm only 6% English. And you were what were
I
you?
was 7, and your mother was 25.
Yeah, so I'm less than both of you guys there. And but a
I think
3% Norway.
you know,
Heck yeah.
I can't, I can't see your web numbers very well because it's pretty
Oh,
small screen. So I can
okay.
see them, but I have to squint.
I'm Norway 3% and then Finland 1%. Heck yeah.
Cool. So you got my 1% from Finland. You got the 2% from your mother, probably a little bit of mine too, that didn't show up as a whole percent for me, but maybe added up to give you 3.
Yeah,
Uh, the other thing with your England numbers, some of that England number that you're not seeing might be in the Wales number,
correct.
because Wales and England are right there and they
Mm,
border each other, and there's a lot of back and forthing going on. So your data might just show up as more Wales than England, but like you could be just across the border and you're in Cheshire, England, or you're over on the Wales side. So it's
totally.
pretty hard to delineate between them. But as the data gets better, as it is getting better all the time, we'll get better data.
Absolutely. Totally.
Oh, wow. Look
So
at that. You got some islands too. Great.
yeah, so Scotland has got North East Scotland and Northern Isles, Moray and Gordon, and
Yeah.
Scottish Highlands.
Awesome.
Uh,
It's Ireland
I guess
down
that
there.
I guess that only gives me. This is the map.
This is the map for the settler groups that you're now a
Yeah.
member of as well. Because once your ancestors came over, our ancestors came over from the old country to North America. Some settled in New York, and you can see the New York area settlers there. Some settled in New England, and of course, most of them settled in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
and a little bit of PEI there too. So indeed, so that's not their origin necessarily, but
Correct.
that's where they spent considerable time before finalizing their journeys and landing in New Brunswick.
Exactly.
And then we came along.
It's interesting that they include Iceland with Norway.
Yeah, because if you go back, even if you've just watched things like the Viking shows that you've seen on TV, maybe you'll know that Norway and Norway generally populated Iceland. They were the first. The Vikings were the first to find Iceland and actually start a settlement there. So there is a close DNA connection between Norway and Iceland,
Mm,
and probably hasn't been that long that they can necessarily distinguish between the two types of DNA. I don't think Iceland has had enough mutations yet to become its own place, DNA wise, or at least enough of it.
right.
Uh, but as time goes on, there will be enough DNA quality data to be able to look at someone's profile and say that person's Icelandic and that person over there is Norwegian. Right
Exactly.
now, there's just not quite enough data to make that.
Okay. Interesting.
Very interesting. And I
Um,
know you wanted, when we made the first video, you wanted to have Finland, you wanted to have Sweden, you wanted to have Norway. I guess you're missing Sweden now.
yeah, it's the only one that I'm missing, but I'm super pumped that I'm 3% from Norway. I wasn't expecting that, so that's awesome. That makes me really happy.
Yeah, great,
Um,
great.
the only one that was basically right was Scotland.
Scotland was really, really close. And that just could be because of the high volume of data that they have now for Scotland.
Yeah.
Because now, as you can see, they're even able to divide Scotland up into a couple of pieces. There's Moray County, or Murray County, as they call it, in the islands, which is where the Taylors actually came from. And then there's the Highlands. Back when I started getting my DNA done, and the first report I ever got from Ancestry, it just said Scotland. It didn't even break it down.
Ah. Hmm.
And it included a lot of Scotland with Ireland. And even to some extent, it still is. If you click on Ireland, you'll see that the bubble goes all the way up and covers some of those western islands of Scotland.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And a part of France as well.
Yeah. Interestingly, the Celts, and I'm guessing this is your Celtic heritage, the Celts settled in parts of Spain, parts of France, a lot of what is now the UK, or the island of Great Britain, and also Ireland. So now I don't show any relationship to like Normandy, France, or to Breton, which I think is where this would be. And neither does your mother, but you do.
Huh.
And remember when we did the first video, we talked about the fact that I may have a trace amount from there that doesn't show up and give me 1%, and your mother may have a trace amount that doesn't give her 1%. But if you got both those trace amounts in enough volume, you might show an ancestry in a place that neither one of us shows. And this probably is one example.
Interesting. Okay.
Very cool. So you got part of France. And the Northwest Europe piece, you'll see that when you look at England, you also see that piece of the Netherlands, really. That's the Dutch area. There's a lot of commerce and a lot of travel between the Netherlands, northern Belgium, extreme northern France, back and forth to England for hundreds and maybe even thousands of years. So it's also pretty hard to distinguish DNA between those two areas because there's so much mixing.
And Dunkirk.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Dunkirk, very famous for what happened in 1940, and a lot of people probably have seen the movie.
I mean, this Finnish or this Norwegian swash and even the Finland swash does get into Sweden a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, and if you go back enough time, Norway used to be part of the Kingdom of Sweden, and if you go back even farther, there were other political alignments that really blur these borders quite a bit. So chances are you've got, bless you. Chances are you've got some Swedish and goodness knows maybe even some German and whatever, because there's a lot of travel that people did even back in the days before they had airplanes and motor cars.
So as an Ancestry noob, how often should I check this to see any updates?
What I have found with Ancestry, and this may be just my own lack of attention span, but sometimes I'll get an email from Ancestry saying, your DNA profile has changed. Go have a look. Other times I don't get an email, but when I go online to log in just to do other Ancestry work, I'll just check the DNA, and sure enough, it'll then give me a message saying, we have a new profile for you. Would you like to see it now? And if you click yes, it'll show it to you. You can also step back and to see your previous profile so you can see what has changed. It's pretty cool. And of course, this video is not sponsored by Ancestry. I and you, we're paying customers.
Yes.
So this is nothing we're doing to promote them. There are many other companies like 23andMe and others that do DNA and do Ancestry type research. So it's not just Ancestry where you can get this done. It happens to be where I got mine done and your mother's was done. So it was the easiest to have yours there too. So we can now gather them all together and have.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, not a sponsored video. However, it is on sale for $89. So if you
the video,
the no, the kit.
Yeah, it went on sale. I think like a week after we purchased your kit.
Oh,
It
jeez.
went on sale after that. It was like $50 off. Thank
Dang.
you. Dang, I didn't get any Black Friday protection on that part. but look, I'm really glad now that the three of us have all been done. Again, yours would not be a huge surprise, but there were some nice nuggets in there. This little piece of France, I think, is interesting. And the fact that the England numbers were quite skewed, and you show up with all this Wales
Yeah.
that your mother nor I show up with. Now, I'm guessing 2 years from now, 5 years from now, if all three of us checked our DNA profile, it would be different, and it would probably be closer to reality.
Yes.
Just as they continue to have people like the viewers here maybe decide that they're going to send in their DNA. Because when you do that, Ancestry then tries to figure out where you are from and who you may be related to, and then where they're from. So it tries to build more linkages between people once it has more DNA in the data bank.
Exactly. And at least it wasn't results that surprised us that didn't make any sense. Then there would be a lot of questions. But
there'd be a lot of questions. Yeah, like if you had a big swath of the Middle East or something,
yeah.
I'd be like,
yeah.
what's with that? What's with that?
It might have to be a conversation between you and mother.
Perhaps, yes. But there are like recessive genes and there are dominant genes. So this is why sometimes it won't be an average. It won't be an exact average. But I was really impressed with the Scotland numbers, how close they were.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dad, thanks for joining me here for this video and sending me the test. I appreciate it. and we can keep an eye on this in the future. And if it changes, if there's any like crazy egregious changes or anything, maybe we can make a part 3 of this series and kind of review them if people are interested. That is, but
Sure thing. It was a lot of fun, and it continues to be a lot of fun. And I will, once you take the test, you only have to take it once. That's the good part. The data will be reanalyzed in the future, but you don't have to do another DNA test to get different DNA results. So that part's done. You've been a really good sport. You spit in the tube and you mailed it away, and the work is over.
exactly. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to subscribe for more random videos like this, the channel is mostly sports related. So if you come across this video and it's your first time on the channel, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. But I do upload pretty much on a daily basis on this channel. Most of it's hockey. Sometimes it's other sports. Sometimes it's GeoGuessr and just general trivia. All kinds of stuff on this channel. So if you're looking for some lighthearted fun, we'd love it if you could join this here. Hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks again, Dad, for joining me. Appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.